Hello there, everybody. I see that things are working as they should. And the things that I'm talking about are the technical things. You probably say, where does this guy get this laugh from? Well, I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I am the original podcast creator for ta-da, Clear Blue Radiance. And I've been a spiritual counselor for over 40 plus years. I enjoy helping people such as yourself gain greater clarity in your own life and also to redefine your purpose because your purpose changes as you change. The more we evolve, the purpose changes. The purpose can get stagnated for us if we're not evolving, if we're not changing. So we have to grow in our awareness. So, this is being brought to you by Resonant Essentials here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I thought I'd throw that in there with my good friend Michelle Vidal, the owner of Resonant Essentials, and allows someone like me, who's one of the practitioners or teachers of meditation there, to come here every Thursday on Resident Essentials YouTube channel and get a chance to offer my teachings. And these are common sense, everyday teachings to all of you here on my podcast, usually every Thursday at 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you're on the Eastern Time Zone, that's 2 hours later. That's 3 p.m. Eastern. If you're in the Central Time Zone, that's 2 p.m. Eastern. And if you're on the West Coast, that will be more like 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, today's topic is when people are speaking negatively, when people are speaking negatively about you, they are actually speaking about themselves and elevating you at the same time. Now, how's that possible? Because there's a little more to that title. And what that title is, hey there, Arid Mart, how you doing today? What's in addition to that title is you are a high frequency transcendental being. Now, the reason I like to bring up topics like this because these are things that I go through, and it's best to create a lesson, create a teaching out of something that you've experienced. And in essence, I'm not the only one that experiences things like this. When we're all going through changes, and I mean everybody right now is going through these shifts that have been taking place since 2012 when people talked about the harmonic convergence. That's everything coming together, people coming together from all over the world. Well, not only in 2012, 2000, knock off another 12 years, 1988. All of these shifts, all these patterns have been going on for a long time. People have been trying to break out of the matrix. It's hard to break out of something that you created. So you got to remember that you are part of the force. You're part of the technology that created this quote unquote matrix, this energy where we're being constantly matriculated, just like when you go to college, right? Each course that you're taking within a semester is what? Each course they call it your points are being matriculated. You might get 3 points for a particular course. You might get 4 points. And all of these things are adding up inside of your major. So they might tell you you might need something like uh, 16 credits to graduate or 20 credits to graduate. So there's so many credits that are adding up for you each quarter within the year. You only got what 180 days. So you got all these credits. You got to like get your courses, you got to get your exams done, you got to get your paperwork done. You might have to stand up in front of the class and co-lecture or lecture a specific topic and then have your fellow classmates ask you questions. So all the time you're matriculating, you're putting together this energy so that you can what, graduate. And there's no accident that they call the college or the university that you go to as the alma mater, the mother of all mothers. Mater is the womb, the place where you are being birthed to be able to take the specific major that you want to take out into the world. And we all know that even though you're in classes and you're in symposiums and conferences at school, and you're, interacting with other majors and professors, nothing works the best than what, life's experience. So you gotta, hey there, Jackie. So you gotta get kicked out of the college or burst out of the college, right? In order to be able to show the world what you've been working on. But we all know you got winter recess to try to put it out there. You got summer recess to try to be out there. Some people take off a whole semester. Some people take off a whole year because they need just time, what, to be able to bring things into balance, bring something up to speed. So I brought this together because I'm not the only one that goes through these things. And all of us do. You don't have to necessarily feel like you're on a spiritual mission doing something. You don't have to feel like you got this special calling where you're out there in the world striving to, put everything forward, put it into motion, and come out healed, come out whole, come out well. One of the things I always like to express to people is that those of us that are in the fields of shamanism, however it may be pronounced, the psychic realm, psychic world, becoming a psychic medium, an evidentiary medium. That means basically the information you pull up about a specific individual from the other side, you could do it accurately. And you could bring something out that the other person would know. So, and there's other things, whether you want to be the cardologist or the tarot card reader or the numerologist, the astrologer, sound healer, all these things take time to develop. And so you don't have to necessarily be in that field to experience life as a quote unquote human, mixed man, mixed spirit person on earth. You can be in any walk of life, any path of life where you're striving to discover who you are. And the interesting factor is that whether we think the person is an enemy or a frenemy, all of us as souls, higher self souls, have come together in agreement to act accordingly at certain points in the wheel of each other's lives. So it's not really a surprise that this is going on. It's not. So some people might say, is this a lesson that you're learning? I gotta, how many lessons I've got to learn? I wouldn't call it a lesson. I'd call it a remembrance or an awareness, both an awareness and a remembrance. Because if you put those two concepts together in your mind, what starts to happen is that you begin to pay attention to the patterns of behavior and the patterns that you react to, that you put out there. Okay. So after a while, you have to see something. I've seen this before. I think I remember this. It's coming up in the context of my mind, my life's experiences. So when those things start to come up, like in my case, I hear it 3, 4, 5, 6 months way ahead of time. I even catch it a year ahead of time. I'm even shown something. Look around at my resonance and I see like a movie, and I literally can hear it in advance. And then I go, well, when is that going to take place? And usually the higher self says, don't tune into it right now, because if you into it right now, you're going to basically miss some opportunities that are coming up right now. So I have to kind of listen to the higher self, and the higher self says, don't tune into it now. Take your time and really, really, like, wait, but do the things that are moving you forward anyway. Adiet says, I realized today that this troublesome coworker is a reflection on my old self that's dying daily. Yes, that's what I was going to say. When we have these quote unquote run ins with people, they're having the run in with you because they know that you are changing and they're trying to bring up the old you. That's what I realized back there on September the 11th, as far back as the whole year, that this person was going to act out or act up and be upset because I'm not the old. They did say in the conversation, we used to be close. We're not supposed to be that close. We all have a path that we have to go on. So whether the person is triggering me in a negative sense or triggering me in a positive sense, it's designed to do one thing. I said in this title, when people are speaking negatively about you or to you, they are actually speaking about themselves, right? Because they're only responding to the old you that they knew. And they're upset because you're not that old you. But here's what's going on, whether they trigger you negatively or positively, they are elevating you at the same time. In other words, you're being freed of the nonsense. So that's why I knew not to say anything in an angry tone. Why? Because if I had said something in an angry tone, I would have anchored it, the energy that was happening in the conversation. I would have anchored it, and the residue would have stayed with me longer. But because I sat there and I kept reminding myself, don't respond. The person's trying to, it had person's already unlocked the door. They already triggered you. You've opened up now. Now the key is, how strong is your heart chakra energy field? How strong is your brow center? How strong is the base of the skull? How strong are the temples? How strong are the crown? How strong is the throat? I was going to say something, and the person will prove it. And I said, like, you know what? I don't need to prove anything. Why? Because the less I say, here's another key. The less I say, the less you say, the less you contribute, the faster the thing is going to go. And I realized that within the first 10, 15 minutes of the conversation. I said, don't respond. Why? Because then you trigger the other person to go uh, to blow everything out of proportion. That's what they were doing. They're blowing everything out and things, But I just bring that as an example. We run into these kind of personalities. And here's what happens. Before we get into the planet, before we get into this particular toroidal stream, life stream energy that's going on, all these different people are stars, co-stars, enemies, frenemies, you name it, within the pattern called the life stream. And we have to remember, okay, that's this one. So if I play this just right in my mind, I could slide, I could get projected out into another life stream, and this one can close down. This maze, ridiculous maze of energy, can close down behind me. And when it explodes, none of that energy comes through in the current one. So when we go through these life's experiences, stuff is happening all the time. And we have to pick up on it ahead of time. We have to hear it ahead of time. We have to see it. I saw glimpses of this on my 70th birthday. And I realized there was things going on. I saw it as far back as my 69th birthday. Things were going to explode. But I didn't allow myself to fall into what? The pattern or behavior or addiction of a victim. See, if we fall into the pattern or of behavior and let that thing become an addiction, then we become the victim. We're looking to get shot up with some victim juice. So we have to what? Take a step back and kind of let it ride out a little bit, but position yourself where your higher self will suck you up in his vacuum cleaner and take you out the way. What you will notice when you don't allow yourself to play the victim while this stuff is going on, you are relieved of your duties. The higher self reaches down and says, "Here your walking papers, Brother Francis." And you look at them like, "Now?" And they say, "Yeah, man, go now, get out now. Don't stay there waiting to see what else is going to happen. Open up the heart center, as Dr. Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith says. Everything that we are experiencing is being experienced through us." That's what I kind of laid out in the 2-day workshop this past weekend. Because if we kind of get out of our own way, we kind of take the miscreated ego part of ourselves and kind of clamp down on it just enough so it doesn't get pulled into that energy. Because the miscreated ego is an illusion upon of illusion upon of illusions that are just constantly flowing like a river with broken glass. So we have to get out of that one in a strategic way. And the best way is to be centered. Keep your center going and let everything swirl through you, but don't try to hold on to it. Don't judge it as best you can, because that pulls it back into your space, and then it lingers with you. You got to like let it go. So here's some things, as before I go on a little further. Some of the things you'd have to do is when this stuff is going down, there's a side of you that has to, as we say, shield the light, whether it's a white light energy or a blue light energy or a pink light energy or a violet flame energy. But what you got to be able to do, you got to quickly fast forward in your mind. When you quickly fast forward, you're not looking at what's going to happen to you or what may happen to the other person. You're looking for the most uncommon possibility. What I say, an uncommon possibility, because it's just like someone throwing dice. There's so many times get a 7. So many times you can get an 11. So many times you get doubles. So many times you get snake eyes. That's the 1 and 1, right? So what happens is there's so many combinations you can get of common possibilities and other infinite possibilities that you see. The one you're looking for is the one that carries the least dark energy, that has nothing but light in it. So in darkness, you see light better. In light, you can see light, and sometimes you see shadow. But here's what happens in these situations. Good afternoon, Laura Marie. What usually happens in these situations is what's being triggered is our shadow side, or what some people call the lower self. But the lower self ain't really a bad critter inside of you. Your shadow side is really not that bad. It's something that you need anyway. So you can see just how light and how bright you have to become. So here's this thing. Because the tail end of the title says you are a high frequency transcendental being. So here's the deal. We run into a lot of people all the time. It could be family members that we chose to be within this lifetime. It could be your siblings that we chose to be in this lifetime. It could be your neighbors, it could be your co-workers, it could be some other strangers, other people in your neighborhood, other relatives. And the question I have is, How many of those moments did you feel like firing back? Only to feel that you need to deflect the negativity. You got to block it, you got to deflect it by choosing not to take it personally. So, just like Sister Mayat says here, she realized what the coworker was responding to the old her, that old her that's dying away. So, when we're under attack, by the time people get around to attacking you verbally, and hopefully not physically, but just verbally, or with an intention that they're laying out there or a negative prayer, it's the old you. Because when the old you is around, that's the side that they can mold like putty. But when you wake up and say, I don't need that side anymore, that side carries all the past. So you just let it go. Now they're upset. Rightfully so. You are released from their opinions. They carry them things called opinions back home with themselves. Why? Because their negativity is bouncing off your energy field. You're not letting none of that stuff in. Or you be like a cartoon, Mutt and Jeff. Somebody's attacking you, you open the front door and go to the back door and let them out the back door. Straight out. Why? They're so angry. You don't need any of that. You don't want any of that. You don't have to carry any of that. Because when somebody's upset with you, sometimes they don't even know why they're upset. In my experience, person just cooked up some time. So when people are cooking up stuff, hey, sometimes you just gotta let them cook up. Hold on a second. Some people don't know I'm broadcasting. So here's how things go down. All this negativity that's being laid out at you. If you're not claiming any of the negativity, don't do it. Don't get entrapped in claiming it. This way it goes back to the sender. Now they're speaking about themselves because, and we used to know this when we were younger, right? Somebody said something bad about you, said something negative, or they cooked it up. You're probably one of your first responses are, no, you're talking about yourself. Whatever you say about me, it's about you. Here's another technique. They're busy blasting you, so parrot everything that they're saying. Be the be the parakeet or whatever. Say it word for word back to them so they can hear it. And usually when they hear it, they hear the anger that went with it. The only thing is you didn't put the anger in it. You just said it in a mild, calm tone. So you are no longer bound to them by way of emotions, mental energy, or any of the physical stress that they're laying on you. You're using the concept called Wu Wei. It's a Chinese two-word concept. W-U, then W-E-I. Wu Wei means empty yourself. Empty yourself of any emotions. Empty yourself of any thoughts. Why? Because if you balance the mind, the thoughts you have, with the emotions, things that you feel, the spirit energy can have a clear path to come through before it reaches the physical. If you hold on to something too long, distortion takes place in the body. Remember the Japanese scientist, Isaru Emoto, I think his name is? And he talked about water has consciousness. Your bloodstream carries consciousness. The liquids in your body carries consciousness. The debris, the stuff you got to release, carries thoughts, feelings, consciousness. Your muscles and cellular memory in your muscles pick up consciousness. Bloodstream, nerve system, lymph glands, other glands and organs. All these things are carrying thoughts and emotions all the time. So you're not trying to hold on to any of this. The so called war of anger is a gift of release for you. Let me say that again. The war of anger is a release, a gift. I'm going to type that in. That's one of the most important statements today. Right here. The war of anger is a gift of release for you. So if you don't hold on to none of this stuff, there's no way that it could override you, the war. If you're not holding on to the war, it's not going to control you. The universe had to free you from toxicity, the city called toxic. And those people cannot enter new cities of increase, prosperity, abundance, positivity, new happenings, and blessings. So, what happened when someone was busy attacking you because you're not the old you? What they're basically saying is, don't take me for the ride to the new promised land within you that you're creating, that's being presented or laid out for you. Like sometimes it's good you getting kicked out of certain circles, certain social groups. You know, like that cliques. You go to school, everybody's got a clique. This clique, that clique. Nobody wants to talk to you. All the athletes sit over there, all the brainiacs over there. Or when I was in college, those that are in the drama, they sat there. The artists sat over there. The classical musicians sat there. Me, I sat where I wanted to sit. I sat in the area where we didn't care. We didn't care what your major was. We just knew personality wise, for the most part, we all got along together. That's where we sat. But sometimes just come in there and collect your meals and collect more of your meals, put them in bars, bowls, whatever you got to do, seal it up, and take it back to the door. You paid for it anyway. So we didn't care. We didn't have to allow ourselves to be entrapped by a negative mindset. There are new friends and clients ready to embrace your unique wisdom and knowledge as keys to unlock their success and healing. So, in essence, when people are trying to be a bully in your life, what they're really doing is kicking themselves out of your life. And I can tell you, you'll experience just how silent it is. If you come home and don't play a radio, don't play a TV set, let it be quiet. Don't even look at your cell phone for a couple of hours. And then you realize, I don't feel that heaviness in my space. I don't feel that heaviness in my car. I don't feel the heaviness outside my car. I don't feel the heaviness while I'm riding mass transportation to get to where my car is. I don't feel the heaviness where I live, on my property, in my neighborhood. I don't feel heavy anymore. Why? You're not supposed to. You're supposed to feel absolutely light. Even though we're not separated, the man made world of illusions helps to create this separation. So be thankful for some of these separations. Be thankful that some of these separations are happening right now. You might say, "Oh, I needed that person to be in this project. Oh, I got to work on this meeting. Oh, I don't have them. Oh, what? They releasing me from my job?" And then you look back and you go, "Not too long ago, when I was depressed about this job, I was saying to the universe inside me, man, just take me out of this place. I can't stand it anymore." Well, now that the can't stand it part has come to fruition. I remember one time in my late 20s, late 20s, I was at a job working as a maintenance porter guy, right? And I wasn't getting along with the higher ups. They were always harassing me. Not only them, but people from the other departments who I had no dealings with, always harassing me all the time until I went off yelling at somebody. And then they still kept it up. So the day that they let me go, I saw it coming. And the day that they let me go, I'm sitting in the personnel office, and the personnel guy goes, "Well, Francis, I'm gonna have to tell you something. You're not gonna like this." And two secretaries are sitting there. They go, "Today we got to give you a pink slip." But when I got that pink slip in my hand, I looked at it. I looked at it, and I thought about all the stuff they had put me through. This company, plus the other company that was merged with it, two companies, and they thought I was gonna bust out crying. I stood up for a minute, took a deep breath, sat back down, and fell out of the chair laughing. And I laughed, and I laughed, and I rolled on that floor. 9 by 12 office. I was rolling over 10 by 12, however big it was. I was laughing, laughing, laughed so hard I started to cry. And then this is what they told me: um, "You can go clock out now." I said, "I ain't clocking out now. If I got this pink slip now, technically, I don't have to do no more work for the rest of the day. So I'm not clocking out. I'm getting in my full 8 hour a day. Then I'm gonna clock out." Because I would get into so much hot water with these people that I was smart enough to do this. I would take, punch out for lunch, punch back in for lunch, but at the end of the day, punch out and take the card with me. And he would say, like, "You can't take the card." I said, "You're not going to write anything negative or derogatory. I'm going to write the truth of what went down today. That's what's going to be on this card. The truth, not your lies." Then when I came in the next day, and that's when he gave me that pink slip, I was hallelujahing all over that place. People were calling me, "Oh, we need you to come up here and clean up." I said, "No, technically they just fired me. So I don't have to do nothing. The same person I brought to work, I'm just gonna come back around later and pick them up for work. But I don't do nothing. Now they gotta get somebody to clean up." But this is the bottom line. The bottom line is you are always free. See, we're all entitled to be free of all toxicity in our lives. We should be more aware and remember we have gone through these experiences before and have conquered many of them. We are mirrors for each other. That means not only for your friends, family, relatives, neighbors, co-workers, but also the people that keep harassing you, who are trying to bully you, whether you're in a relationship of some type. You're a mirror image to each other. Why? Because if you're the nice person who's not being the bully, you're triggering them. And if they're the bully and that's who they want to be, they're triggering you. We are showing what can possibly go wrong or go right in a relationship. People get angry when you don't speak. They get angry when you do speak and get angry when they can no longer blame you and hide behind you. Ain't that something? Let me read that statement. People get angry when you don't speak. They get angry when you do speak and get angry when they can no longer blame you and hide behind you. So when people say, "Oh, I'm kicking you out of this relationship, I'm kicking you out of this job," hey, guess what? There's some potholes now. My late mother would say, they don't miss the water till the well has gone dry. Her younger brother would say, Francis, they not only won't miss the water until the well has gone dry, rip that well out and take it with you, and you will leave a gaping hole behind. That means when they come up there now, you're not there. You've took all of your energy that you expended into that place, wrapped it up, and you took it out of there. Now they really miss it. They miss the warmth that you brought to a place or a relationship. They miss the warmth that you brought in the comedy side, that you brought into conference rooms. They miss that extra work detail that you put into things. They miss that person who was articulate to a point. They miss the visionary that you were. They miss the dreamer that you were. They miss the person that would say, I'll be there no matter what. They start missing it and missing it and missing it to the point that they don't realize that something just happened and they can't retrieve it. So don't swallow other people's pain, sadness, and anger. Don't swallow it. And don't wallow in it either. Stay clear of codependent relationships which bring drama into your life. You know what a codependent relationship is? That's somebody where two people are in a relationship. One person is the sweetheart, the other person is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and they depend on each other. So what happens? Someone starts the drama, somebody heals the drama. Somebody starts the drama, somebody heals the drama. Then when they're away from each other, it's too quiet, or they can't stand it, so they create more drama. It's their way of getting some value out of it, some poison that they think is a nutrient, but it's not. Find ways. You see, the codependent relationships with all that drama, there's no healthiness there, and there'll never be. So find ways to raise your energy in your body, raise the energy in your environment, and you change the energy in your life. Do some jogging, bicycling, boating, rafting, swimming, riding a bike, riding a motorcycle, sitting in the park, minding your business, reading a book, sitting home, go to a spa, get your nails, your toenails, get your skin. Hey, get a haircut. Oh, do like I used to do when I couldn't get a haircut. Do it myself. No, don't do that. What you want to do though is take care of you. The more you go into taking care of yourself, the more people will miss you. But you're not banking on them missing you. You are banking, you're investing on yourself, taking care of yourself. Before I close this out, if you like what you heard, please click the like button. Okay, go click, clickety click. Give me the thumbs up if you definitely like what I was saying. You see, the higher the vibes, the more magnetic and electrical you can become and be more centered. As your energy grows, your life will flow, and those who are trying to slow you down with negativity will not be able to hold on anymore. They will have to release their toxic grip and float away. Why? Because your energy is too high. Yeah. In other words, you will always attract to you the right people at the right time, with the right attitude, the right emotions, the right feeling, the right thoughts, the right words, the right actions. Their conduct will be positive, and they will speak to you with truth, not with anger. So, thank you and be well. Because you are a blessing, here's some announcements. If you're here in the state of New Mexico, hey, thank you, Linda. So here we are in the state of New Mexico. Resident Essentials will be closed on Saturday, October the 7th. Resident Essentials is located at 3107 Eubank That's EUBANK Boulevard Northeast, inside of the Scottsdale Shopping Village, just north of Candelaria Boulevard Northeast, that runs east and west. And inside the Scottsdale Shopping Village is the plaza, or the shopping plaza is listed as 3107, but the store is 34. It's a black door with a beveled jalousie glass. Well, we'll be closed Saturday on the 7th. And usually I teach meditation there live in person from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for about $10 for the class. I won't be teaching boom, because on this Saturday, Resident Essentials has been invited out to Mountaineer, New Mexico. About a 90-minute ride from here, as I understand. We'll be participating, Resident Essentials, the main guns there, participating at the first Autumn Psychic Fair this Saturday, October the 7th, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Time at the Dr. Saul, SAUL Community Center, located at 109 North Roosevelt Avenue in Montclair, New Mexico. So we'll be there on Saturday. Then on Sunday, October the 8th, we'll be back here in Albuquerque at Resident Essentials, 3107 Eubank Boulevard Northeast, store suite number 34, for our monthly, every second Sunday psychic fair from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Admission is always free. We just kind of upgraded our prices for sessions with us. All right. And then on Sunday, that's for Sunday. Now, Creative Pathwork Meditations given by myself, Brother Francis, they're $10 per class. So I will be there, of course, on the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th of October. Those are all Saturdays from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. We usually have IONS of Albuquerque, the charter chapter. IONS is the Institute of Noetic Sciences. They'll be having someone in there on Saturday, October the 14th, 2023, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And you can usually attend by donations. Okay. You can also go to Resident Essentials website at www.resonantentals.com, and you see the calendars right there on the page, and you can see what's going on. You know, a lot of our practitioners, you click on the practitioners list, and you'll see who's present, and you'll see their phone numbers, and you'll see what days that they are there. Like today, from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. was Leanna Rondon of Jaguarina Apothecary. She's a very bright, industrious sister who knows her stuff, and it deals with self-care. And she's got crystals now, and jewelry, uh, wristbands and necklaces and things, and artwork. And she makes a lot of stuff that's very, very good. And she's usually there from about 11 a.m. to 5, or 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. But from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., she does a lunch and learn. So, you bring your lunch in and she teaches you. Okay. Now, what else I want to say? We got a lot of stuff going on. There'll be other practitioners in there working as well. Usually on Tuesdays, we have Amber J and Nikki, and they are in there. Nikki does oracle cards, and Amber J does Reiki. I believe on Wednesdays, we have Kyle, I think his name is Kyle Ryland. He's a new guy there, and he works with body work, energy work. He does massage, and he might do sound work. And then on Thursdays, we have, as I say, um, Liliana, but also sometimes we have Johanna Rader, and she's there with the astrologer. She's our resident astrologer, but she's only there from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then on Fridays, we've got, everybody knows, Lolo Tarot, which is Lauren. Lauren is a local practitioner, and she's there on Fridays from usually 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and she's doing her tarot readings. And sometimes she has necklaces too, and wrist bracelets. She's my fun spiritual daughter because she loves selenite just like Daddy does. And so we have all of that going on, and somewhere in there, Michelle is there, and Rosemary is there as well. So that's all I got to say. It's time for me to rock and roll. I've got to help a friend back east create a flyer, and I haven't done it yet, so I got to do it. Thanks for being here. If you like what you heard, give us a thumbs up. Remember, go to www.resonantessentials.com to get further information. There's also preferred business partners. I'm one of them. And there's two other people, Tracy Whitted and Barbara Portzline. And that's under preferred businesses that work through and with Resident Essentials. All right, everybody. What else I need to say? Oh, if you want to know, you can always go to www.circleofgrace with the number one at the end .us. // that takes you to my website and you see all that stuff that's going on. Woo! I'm working on book number 7. I'm not going to give out the title, but that's coming out next year. And you can see all my other things that I'm doing. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, you could leave them in the comment section either now or later on when you replay this, okay? If you want to email me personally, then email me at iam.circleofgrace1 at gmail.com, and I'll most certainly answer any of your questions that you have. All right, I'm signing off. I'm going to drink some water and I'm going to disappear. No, I love you unconditionally. My grace is your grace. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. See you soon.